Many people think that they have a myth that IT is only about software coding, development, and all. There's a lot of managerial jobs where you have to understand the client's requirements, understand the deliverables, and these developers are like they are completely from a different world. Okay, I see many people are little, especially in this region of the South India. I feel that many people are little, they are not outspoken. Okay, they don't come out from their comfort zone, and while taking any new decisions, they are little bit overthinking, and they are always fear of failures.
Coding, writing a code, or writing some algorithms on the screen. That's what most people think when we say that we are working in IT. People ask, "Are you a developer?" or "Are you writing any AI programming?" So it's not always the programming part that you are doing in IT. So when we say IT, it is making the use of technology to represent the best work that you could do. If I work as a business analyst for a financial company, right, it means that I am doing business analysis for a financial product. So that is where my domain skills play a very important role. The next thing that comes into play is how much do I know about product development.
I used to work with various CRM tools because I don't think any organization or any employee for that matter is nowadays working on a pen and paper. We are all exposed to some or the other tool. Hi everyone, welcome to SID Talks. This SID Talks is sponsored by an institute called SID, which is switch to itjobs.com. It's famous for its training in the business analyst program. Our institute is located in Manikonda and in Kondapur. In this podcast, we're going to discuss about IT industry, the opportunities, the jobs, the career growths, and the myths in this IT industry from people who are already working and they have good experience in this industry. In today's podcast, we have a very experienced person. Her name is Arshiya. She's working as a director in a company called Experian, and she's also having 17 years of experience doing various roles like agility, agile lead, and she has worked with companies like Salesforce and many other big companies. So she's going to share her experience working in IT industry, and to the surprise, she initially started off in a non-IT industry and then switched into the IT industry. And IT industry, she has grown a lot. She has worked in various countries and have gained a lot of experience. So she's going to explain how she has transformed her career and how she got benefited in IT industry in today's work in today's podcast. So stay tuned, and this podcast is really going to be a lot of information, and it's really going to help you in your career transformations as well. Thank you. Hi Arshiya, thanks for joining our SIT's podcast. As you were one of my friends, and we met at an event where we have attended PSPO training. So I just want to take it from there, and I just wanted to meet you again. And I also want to know about you, and you can also share your experience for my audience. Basically, who want to switch from non-IT to IT, they just want to know, is it really possible? And also, this is a podcast content for today. So welcome Arshiya, and I really have give you a warm welcome. I request you to answer me the first question. So how did you step into the IT industry? What was the first initial juncture for you?
Sure. I think that's a really important and interesting question for me because I am always, very happy to share how that transition actually took place. I was not wishing for it, or maybe, I was not planning for it, but it just happened. My education happens to be in finance and accounting. So, of course, I'm not from a, computer science degree. And having worked in US taxation for about 3.5 years, I have gained strong domain knowledge in the field of accounting and taxation. And when we talk about technology, it is not just about coding, writing a code, or writing some algorithms on the screen. That's what most people think when we say that we are working in IT. People ask, "Are you a developer?" or "Are you writing any AI programming?" So it's not always the programming part that you are doing in IT. So when we say IT, it is making the use of technology to represent the best work that you could do. So in my case, I had strong domain knowledge in finance and accounting, and IT has become indispensable in any field, right? Be
I
it
totally
finance
agree.
or accounting. So be it finance or accounting, or be it, even fashion designing, IT has become indispensable for any field, right? So I think the first thing, in order for you to jump into an IT career, is to be very strong in your domain. It could be any domain like finance, accounting, business analysis, or maybe, art and craft is also a domain, which is emerging. Even any domain, doesn't matter, but you need to be strong in your domain skills so that you can use that domain expertise and come into IT and learn some tools that IT has to offer in order to better represent your own domain skills. For example, if I work as a business analyst for a financial company, right, it means that I am doing business analysis for a financial product. So that is where my domain skills play a very important role. The next thing that comes into play is how much do I know about product development, and how much do I know about this software development life cycle. So these are some gaps that I would need to address before starting to work in that career. But the domain knowledge that I already have is going to play a major role. So when we think about a move from non IT to IT background, try to do a close mapping of where you are right now, what are your current skills, and in with using that skill, what career options do you have. It may not be same for every individual, but you need to really spend that time, visualize what you want to do, where you want to see yourself, and then maybe talk to some experts who are already working in IT, or maybe watch my podcast, uh, and get some tips.
Super. Yeah. Thank you, Arshiya. That was really a nice answer for my question. So my next question for you is that currently I heard from you that you're in UK. So what are you currently doing and which job you're currently doing and what are your suggestions or what is your plan for the next 1 year or 2 year? I just want to know what are you currently doing, the first thing.
Yeah. So I work with a reputed financial institute here in UK, and they are they have their operations in across the globe. They are a huge financial advisor, and also provides consulting on financial matters. But I am into the IT part of this company, where I work day in and day out with software engineers, helping them to build better software. And the way I work with them is, of course, I do have my domain skills, that is, finance and accounting, which is my core. But then over a period of time, I have learned a lot about technology and how it is rapidly evolving. What are the tools and the kind of mindset the developers and everybody working in IT needs to have. So I coach people on what is the programming mindset, what is the growth mindset, what we should be looking at when we want to build a great product. So I work with the developers in order to improve their speed of production, and also improve the quality of the product. So basically, my role is a global agile coach, where agile is a way of working. It is not actually project management or product management, it is different. But then it is about advocating on how you should be working, how you should be collaborating within the teams, outside of your team, so that you can build that product faster and better.
Great. Yeah, I've been since the time I know you, I've observed that you're very influential and you were like advocating agile method a lot. Okay, even I was one of the pilot members in my previous company wherein I used to set up Jira boards. Okay, I used to ensure that people are following this agile methodology because at that time, I'm speaking about 10 years back, we are always used to work in that waterfall model and we always tend to get back and we are unable to reap the benefits out of this agile. So, in your own words, can you tell me how important is this agile methodology towards the software development and delivery, and how the organizations are getting benefited because of this? In few words.
Sure. So I would like to start. I would like to take a little step back into what I was doing before I stepped into Agile and Scrum. So I was working on a tax preparation tool. As I said, I started my career into US taxation. Of course, we don't file tax returns by hand, right? We use some software to do that, to process the information. So I used a software from one of the companies called Thomson Reuters. They were the provider of software to Deloitte. So I realized that I have been using this software a lot, and people are coming to me when they are having some issues, while computing the tax return. I entered this number here, but then I don't see it flowing on the form. My compute isn't working, so I kind of become a mini system admin as well in my tax preparation days. And luckily, Thomson Reuters at that time started a new team in their company, and they were inviting domain experts on tax who also have experience on their software to come and help them on doing business analysis on their software, write requirements so that the software, which is a current legacy based, double click on the desktop to launch, kind of
Enhance.
product, to web based. So that was the transformation that was happening at that time.
Okay.
So I was purely interviewed based upon what knowledge do I have as an end user on the software,
Yeah.
right?
You
And
are
then
a subject matter expert and a very important stakeholder from the business side, I believe.
yes. So I have no experience. I had no experience on that technology, but then I had the experience with the tool, on which they were looking to improve it to web based. So I think those two skills really helped me. So I see a lot of people today, they try to learn a lot of tools and then look for a job, and they become dependent on that tool. Because I learned this tool, I want to get a job on this tool. We actually have to be very very flexible, um, and deprioritize tool a little bit and prioritize our domain knowledge first. Because
Okay.
when your domain knowledge is strong, you can work on any tool. So when I was hired as a QA slash BA, when I say QA, it is quality assurance plus business analysis. So it was a dual role where I have to not just write requirements but also test it and get it. Any rework needs to be done. I need to get it done. So when I started, I had no idea about how to write requirements and how to raise bugs, how to talk to the developers. Even when I was introduced to Scrum when I joined Thomson Reuters, where I became a part of an IT team, member of an IT team, because I would be the one who will be clarifying questions to the developers on, okay, why we have to build this functionality. So I was basically answering the what and the why part, and they are technical geniuses. They know their job. They know how to code and they know how to get things done. So I realized that they work in a certain framework called Scrum, which was new to me, and which is considered as an agile way of working. So when we say agile, it is not a methodology or it is not a program management tool. Agile is just a way of working, the way we value things. It talks about the values and principles that should be at the top, and Scrum is one of the framework in agile that gives us this set of practices for us to adopt and then follow those practices to become successful. So what I really liked about working in an agile environment is that people have this freedom to talk about how much work they can do, what is their capacity, and how much what is it that they cannot do without having the fear of being judged. So I
Okay.
have seen people saying, no, I don't want to work on this work item because this is new for me, without any fear. So I really liked that. And initial days definitely were really really difficult for me, because I just have this domain knowledge and knowledge on the software or the tool, but I had no idea or experience working in an IT team or an IT environment. So anybody who is looking to switch to IT career, don't expect things to be
Yeah.
all right from day one. You will have to be prepared to identify
Yes.
what are the gaps, and maybe maintain a diary, everyday diary, to make sure you're writing down what you're learning today. Because the first few months at the job, you will identify so many things that you don't know and are new to you. So what I used to do is I used to keep a diary with me, and any new term, if the developer has said the something like, in the database, he has to debug something. Okay, so I will write that down. Okay, what does debugging means? What is this SQL means? Right? There is an error with the SQL code. Okay, what is this SQL? So I will just write down these new terms that I come across. I write down and then do a research on it, like what is it, where is it coming from, and then whatever knowledge I can try to understand from a non technical perspective, because I don't need to learn SQL language. It's a structured query language, so I cannot learn it. But at least I know that, okay, SQL or SQL means a structured query language. It is the language that the database understands. So next time when I hear this word, I know that, okay, they are talking to something which is related to the database.
Correct. Super. Really, it's very inspiring, Arshiya, to know how you have switched from non-IT to IT. And I have 100% agree on all what you said. Even I switched it from, I used to work in a bank in a normal sales and operations kind of a job role. So I used to work with various CRM tools, because I don't think any organization or any employee for that matter is nowadays working on a pen and paper. We are all exposed to some or the other tool, and we have to learn how that system works. Okay, with this system knowledge, you can easily move towards the IT industry. That is what even we do a lot of propagation about this part. Many people think that IT is, they have a myth that IT is only about software coding, development, and all. There are a lot of managerial jobs where you have to understand the client's requirements, understand the deliverables, and these developers are like, they are completely from a different world. Okay, they need to we need to feed in with a lot of information that the business requirements are these things, otherwise they can't do the coding. So even we are on the right path actually. Yeah.
Yes.
So even when you said the importance of agile, I really accept with that, because I see majority of the companies when they go for hiring, they are checking all my trainees who are attending interviews minimum 10 to 15 minutes. They're checking about the agile knowledge. Okay, how they about the scrum framework, what are the sprints, how do they calculate the, how to write user stories, how to use Jira and all. And you are part of the Atlassian community as well. Okay, so how was it, and what all works you did in the Atlassian? Can you throw some light over there?
Yeah, so I think I really like talking to people, building my network, building my own brand. Not just for growth, but because I like meeting new people, because every experience gives something new to learn. So my one of my friend, who is actually Atlassian community leader for Delhi Gurgaon, she told me that there is such thing called Atlassian communities, where you can become a community leader. You can host events on Atlassian related topics like enterprise agility, Jira, Confluence, and many other tools that are there in the Atlassian ecosystem. So at that time, there was no chapter that was existing for Hyderabad. It was started by someone, but then there were not many events happening. So it was like a existing but non-existing kind of chapter. So I raised my hand and spoke to the community manager that I'm interested to join. And that way, the chapter got revived, and we started to have more meetings. And as you know, when as in the development space, there is a tool called Jira, which is Atlassian product, is heavily used. Um, in It's not just used by the developers, but everyone who is working in
Everybody.
the on that product development,
Correct.
including the product owner and everyone, because it actually helps you to track the work from where it was, to to the done stage. And you can also calculate a lot of things like how much, what is the average aging that this work item has been through and it's still not addressed. So there are also a lot of analytic capabilities. So this was also a forum for me to learn more about Atlassian tools, which really helped me in my role as a scrum master in those days. And now that I have progressed from a scrum master role to agile coach, to a business unit level agile coach, to an enterprise agile coach, I see that the usage of Jira, Confluence, and tools like that is increasing. And we are becoming more and more dependent on the data in order to make right decisions.
Correct.
But it doesn't replace the individual interactions, because using that data you are able to have meaningful conversations, and from those conversations you are making the decisions. So I think when you have to prioritize on switching from a non IT role to IT role, what you should be keeping in mind is first your domain skills, what domain you are in, and are you willing to change that domain as well. If some people are really good in learning programming, and I have seen people learning Python programming in just 3 months, right? Although they are from the accounting background and BA, that is Bachelor of Arts. So I have a lot of friends who are who graduated in BA, BCom, and um, BSc, but they also they were able to learn Python programming in the first 3 months. In 3 months, if you really give the time. And Python is the main language for machine learning. So I think if someone doesn't have any programming language, but they really want to experience maybe how the code is written, structured, you should try your hands on Python programming. But with that, you don't need to become a programmer. But it is good to have that sense of programming, so that you can understand the overall IT domain, how it functions.
Okay. Yeah, Arshiya, in this answer, one thing that struck me and one thing which has made a really good point about you is that you said that you are really like to do networking and you have been very proactive in building the Atlassian, reviving that particular community and all. So I really appreciate you for that, because the reason why I'm saying that is when we met for the first time in the Bangalore in the PSPO training also, I was little hesitant to come and speak with the other individuals, and I have been seeing you that you were very active person in going and speaking. So what do you in this way, what do you suggest people? Okay, I see many people are little especially in this region of the South India. I feel that many people are little, they are not outspoken. Okay, they don't come out from their comfort zone, and while taking any new decisions they are little bit overthinking, and they are always fear of failures. So as a personality, I have seen in your, I have read your LinkedIn, that particular your about you, in that you are also saying that you are a career counselor. So as a career counselor, how do you want the people to shape up their personality in all these traits?
Yeah. So there are two views, right? Basically, the first view is how others see you as a person, right? And the second view is how do you yourself see you as a person, right? Like how does Arshiya see Arshiya, and how does other people see Arshiya? There can be a huge difference, right? It's because the way we are brought up, the experiences that we have been through. uh, I know that as a kid who studied in a small school, I know that you could be bullied for anything. you know Even if you are a topper in the class, you could be
Yeah.
bullied for having a curly hair, or maybe you don't look that great. Because in school we don't really focus on our looks, right? Or maybe because of the height, or anything. Even
Yes.
if there is nothing, then you could be bullied about the bag that you are carrying or the water bottle you are using. So I think it really gets it really gets stuck to our personality, because we feel that in some way we have not been fully accepted by others, right? It can happen in the house also, this sibling rivalry. We call
Yes,
each other names. We people find it fun, but I'm telling you, it really affects a person's mental health, right? And it is not a good thing. It should not be celebrated on YouTube and internet. Sibling rivalry and these kind of things, because it really have an impact on the minds of people and how they show up in social gatherings. So imagine an individual who have not was very well accepted in their school, by their friends, by their siblings, or maybe their parents didn't stand up for them when they were being bullied or harassed
yeah,
by others. They were just asked to, okay, just ignore them, avoid them, don't tell them anything, right? So it all stays with us, and we build that kind of image for ourselves, right? So we carry that image with us. So when we are with our own self, right, when we are having our own me time, we are reminded of those moments,
correct,
and we have this fear of maybe all those comments, we maybe we will hear them again. If I become social with other people now, in a gathering, maybe they will tell something, or maybe they will judge me, maybe for my English, which is still developing. So there are a lot of things, that is happening at the back of the mind of a person who is not coming forward and talking to people. So I think I want to give a message, using this platform, to all those people who agree with me on this, that just whatever negativity that you have been hearing about yourself, I think just you should be ignoring that, and you should only focus on what you are best at. Nobody is perfect. We all have our flaws, and we some flaws can be corrected, some cannot be. So we have to agree and live with that.
correct.
So and maybe some I have find very talented and skilled individuals, their English communication is not that great, so they don't want to come forward and talk, and they have given the opportunity to demo the amazing work they did to someone else, because they are too shy to demo that to the group. It's their work, right? So it's bad that they have to give that opportunity to someone else, and someone else is becoming that spotlight of that moment. um, but I think skill is something that you can improve upon if you give at least 1 hour time to it every day.
Correct.
But there is something called will, which is
Yeah.
inside us, right? That will has to first come, and you should be on your willpower and say that this is the skill that I'm going to improve, and now I'm going to put all my willpower into this.
Yeah,
And
very nice point, Arshiya. So when you're speaking about will, I also want to. This is like a normal audience or normal person who want to improve their career. Okay, is it really difficult to achieve something like switching from non-IT to IT? Is it really difficult? That's the first question. Second question is, do we really have such kind of opportunities? Will people who are coming from other industry to the IT industry, will IT industry accept such kind of people? Will they really respect them, or will they, as you said, will they look at like undermine them and they won't accept them? Okay, these are the 2 points many people really want to know. Is it really very difficult? Is it unachievable? And the second one is, will industry, will the people allow accept from other industry? What is your thoughts on it?
the first question about the difficulty, I think the more difficult it becomes, the more you delay it in your early career. Like for example, within the first 5 years of your career, if you are making the switch, you are still new to the industry, and the industry is kind enough to allow you a chance to move into IT. But if you are making that decision after a very successful 16 to 20 years of career in a particular domain, and now you want to switch into IT, I think at that level you will not get entry level jobs, because you have a very high level high experience. And if you are hired at a higher designation in an IT role, maybe because you have that exposure or great communication skill, management skill, and presentation skills, you may get a leadership position in an IT role as well. But the thing that you need to ask yourself is, are you prepared for it? Do you think you have what it takes, to become successful in an IT career? Um and now the second question about whether there are opportunities. So I would say the answer is yes, there are opportunities. It's just a matter of connecting to the right platforms where these opportunities are posted. Nowadays, companies also give importance to employee referrals. So that is where, if you have connected to someone from that company in the past via some meetup or something like that, you can ask them to refer you. But you have not been very proactive in the networking, then you may not know anyone, who could refer you. And for every job that is posted out there on LinkedIn, I can see that, the job is posted a day ago and there are already 100 plus applicants. So it is becoming like, 80% luck and 20% skills when
Yes.
it comes to your resume being picked for an interview opportunity. So it's best to, build some network in the companies that you are wishing to apply for, build that trust with the individual, and then share what you have to offer. And when I am interviewing, and the interviewers whom I have met, when we are looking at the profile of a non IT person who is applied for an IT job, um, we don't look at the number of certifications they have. Nowadays, people are going crazy about certifications. Okay, I will do this particular cloud certification. I will achieve an architect level, and maybe I'll have a job. But there are two things, right? There is a theory, and then there is a practical experience thing, uh, that you could either gain by working on it, or you could either gain by reading case studies and success stories, or talking to the real people who are actually working in that field, by asking them, what does your typical day looks like, what do you do, what are the challenges that you come across. So these are the two things. So when you are selected for an interview, based upon the skills that you have, of course certifications add value, but too many certifications can also put you down.
Yes.
uh, so I would say choose the certifications wisely. I'm not advising against certifications. uh, if you feel that there is a particular certification which will really help you get there, go ahead, do that. But when you are applying for a job, don't just put a list of tons of certifications you have done. Only put the relevant ones
Yes.
uh, that you need for that job. So interviewers are not paying attention to the tools that you have used. They're paying attention to the domain knowledge, the presentation skills, the communication, of course. Now when I say communication, it is your ability to articulate what you have done and what you could do for the company. It is not your English speaking skills.
Correct.
So
Yes.
I think a great articulation, storytelling approach is very important. Um, and interviewers are kind enough to allow you to pause. If you don't know a particular answer, you just don't have to go on and on. You can say, can I pause, or maybe just pause, breathe,
Yeah.
and then give your answers.
Yes.
So I think if you want to switch to an IT career, in a nutshell, try to decide as early as possible, because then you have more room to learn. That when I switched to IT, I was just 3 years into my career.
Correct.
Okay, and I
Yes.
was hired via campus placement, so I got my job as soon as I completed my BCom. Even before my final exams, I had the job offer. So I just finished my final exams, and in my vacations, I joined Deloitte as a full time employee.
Oh,
And
wow.
then 3.5 years, I was into IT. And as it was my second job itself, and a switch from non IT to IT. um, but then I was allowed enough time to learn because I was still young in the industry. So I think that's something that could play some part in the difficulty, that difficulty level.
Correct. Great. So my view about these 2 points is, Arshiya. For me, the first point is it's not at all difficult to learn or pick up any new skills because, especially in the business analyst where we are training at SIT, there's a lot of commonality, the common skills. Like even a business analyst tries to understand the business processes. He or she will go and understand who are the stakeholders, like the who are the people who are working in that business, the processes, and the products and services. Okay, the regulatories and the systems. Okay, this anyone has the knowledge. Okay, so 50% of the knowledge, I think, any non IT guy and as well as his business analyst, there's a similarity. The only
Yeah.
thing that they have to pick it up is about the technology, how the software development happens, what is the step by step process involved. Either it could be the SDLC process or the agile process, what are the different ways of gathering requirements, documenting, presenting. These are the things which if they pick it up, I think the many companies, like let's also look at in the view of the company side. And a company, if they want to hire a techie guy, like a person like you said, Python or a Java developer, I can simply go to a BTech or an MCA college and I can find many people who learn those things. But where can I find a person who has like domain knowledge like you? You said you have 3 years of experience in the accounting side and you have worked on certain accounting tools like Tally or some other tools. So it's very difficult for the organizations also too, because my company, we are one of the biggest paymasters in India. We pay a lot. When we give 100 offer letters, out of that only 30 people join us. 70 people they don't join, especially the business analysts. They again have better offers than that. So companies are really desperate to hire the people, and I think people are going to really accept people who are coming from non-IT to IT is what my observation is.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So, yeah, my next question to you, Arshiya, is that what is your? I have seen a lot of things you have done at Salesforce as well. You travel a lot. How do you get these opportunities? You do consulting, or how do you travel a lot, and how do you enjoy this on site? And does people what sort of exposure and experience you have got when you travel to countries like UK, USA, and UAE and all these countries? What is the experience and what are the benefits of traveling? Can you say that?
Yeah, my first ever travel was to United States, and it was a work assignment from Deloitte. So it was the first time that I traveled. I had never gone out of Hyderabad, and I my first travel happened to be in US.
Okay.
When I was in US, I learned a lot of things about how client facing work happens. So when I was in the Hyderabad office, I was working. My manager was, my shield. He would correct any errors that I make, coach me, mentor me, and then the work goes out to the client. But when I was actually at the client side, I really learned from observation how how our interactions matter. Any word that you say have value, right? So you have to be very you have to really do your homework about what you have to be saying, and what is it that you know, and what is it that you are comfortable saying I don't know, right? So I think also, like, you are exposed to different culture. The culture that we are in that we had in Hyderabad office is very different from the culture that we have in US office, because the people are brought up differently. They have seen different way of living than what we have seen, right? So it also exposes you to a culture, and also the place can also surprise you, how different it looks from your hometown. And so there are a lot of things. So that was the first time, when I was abroad, I wanted to do more travel. So when I moved to Thomson Reuters, of course, I was in this agile and scrum team, and we were doing a lot of IT work, and there was also a need to learn. So I used to park some of my savings for my travel, and the conferences that I would attend. So I would uh, intentionally pick a conference that is happening outside Hyderabad,
Nice.
so that I have an opportunity to travel. So I have gone to Bangalore, Delhi, Pune, and all of these places, Mumbai, where these conferences are happening. Because as a new traveler, I don't know what to do when I go to a new city. So at least, by subscribing to that conference, I get some exposure to the city. I go to that place of conference. I book my stay usually at that same place, and then they look at the area around.
Nice.
And that way I got to I got introduced to culture of different cities as well. It's not I found it very different from, Hyderabad to Bangalore is very different. Bangalore to Mumbai is very different. And then Mumbai to Delhi is very different. So every city, I think, it has to offer a lot of things in terms of culture exposure. And when you are exposed to new culture, you learn new things about how to talk to people, what to say, what not to say, and you will improve on your vocabulary as well indirectly.
Correct. That also helps you keep moving. You want to do so many things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we tend to get in that comfort zone and that saturation kind of thing. When we go to some other city, we see that there's a lot of things we need to do. We need to pick up a lot of things, and yeah, I think that's the best way to look at the travel. So,
Increases our horizon also. Like
yes,
I would, maybe when I was in Hyderabad, I was just looking at jobs in Hyderabad. But
correct.
now that I know about other cities, I know I have actually seen that place. I am open to working there, right?
Nice.
So
Yeah.
my horizon has expanded. So that can also be a side effect of travel.
The positive side effect. Yeah. So what do you see now? Many people are really skeptical and they're thinking a lot about AI, artificial intelligence. So how do you look at AI currently? Is it going to really affect us in a good way or in a bad way? What are your thoughts about AI and the jobs that is going to create or kill?
Yeah, AI is a still new domain for everyone, right? It's
It's in a
equally
very
new.
nascent stage, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's equally new for IT as well as non-IT people. And everybody has started to use AI, be it, whether they are an IT person or a non-IT person, everyone is using AI. Even the mobile phone has AI capabilities now when you are clicking pictures, when you are writing text messages, email, etc. Right? So I think it has both good and bad to offer in terms of if you are talking about jobs, if you are talking about jobs and how it affects us. I think it is both. It is creating new job roles, which is a addition to the job ecosystem, but it is also on the other hand reducing uh, some of the jobs that could have become redundant because now AI could do that. But AI is managed by humans, right? So we need to find those things that help us to manage it. You could be a manager, you could be a non-IT person, but if you have good management skill, presentation skills, and communication skill, you can become a manager of a AI team, AI
Correct.
development team, right? Where the team is building the algorithms and everything for the client, but client wants to talk to someone who is sensible, understands their requirements, and then talk to their team and then help prioritize things for them. So um, I think if you are a experienced person trying to switch from non-IT to IT, you could look at managerial roles as well within IT. But as you mentioned, right, you have to be familiar with the ways of working and how the entire SDLC works. So without understanding the SDLC, it is difficult to understand just the AI piece of it. So if you are new to something, the best thing that you could do is get one or two books which are meant for beginners. I know that there are a lot of online video courses on many platforms, many learning platforms, and if you get to those platforms, you will only get confused. But when you have to uh, buy a book which is meant for beginners, it will have comprehensive information about that subject.
Correct.
Nowadays, you can use AI. You can download a PDF copy of that book, ask chat gpt to generate a summary of that book so that you don't have to read those 500-600 pages. So uh, I think leveraging AI is the first thing, to getting a job in that space.
Exactly.
So try to, I think everybody is getting into the mindset of leveraging AI into what they are doing. It has definitely reduced the time that we spend in our research, and we can spend that saved time into something more productive. And that something more productive is where, is the part where you're growing. uh, so I think uh, it definitely is difficult if you are a very very experienced person in terms of number of years, and if you are making the switch. But then if you have the will, you can still do it. But the transition period, don't forget about the transition period. Everyone has their own transition period. It can be short for few people, it can be long for few people. But once you have made up your mind, just take that first step, and if you are on the right direction, the next steps will follow along.
Exactly. Yeah. Superb. So my take on AI is, Arshia, that currently we see the software development or the very nature of IT industry is to transform things. Okay,
Mhm.
how we are working. Like, let's take a small example. Earlier, if I want to watch my favorite movie, my favorite film stars movies there, then we had to stand in a huge line for hours together. I don't know, you never stood, but I don't think so. But I used to stand in for hours together, like. But now with the AI, with the technology like mobile apps, okay. So when manual things were updated to web technology, and from web technology they were improved to mobile apps technology, and now it is AI. So the very nature of technology or IT industry is to improve the ways of working. Okay, so if IT industry is able to do this thing, then yes, the IT industry is there. If the IT industry stops revolutionizing these kind of things, transforming these things, then the importance of IT is gone. So what I believe is that current with this AI revolution, many businesses they want to really impart this new technology into their existing business systems and into their business processes. So IT industry is at top now. That's what I believe. Okay,
Yes,
and it's also, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
and I think it's going to continue and evolve more further, so the scope is only going to increase.
Yes. Whenever I hear to some new filmmakers or the movie makers, they also say that because of this AI, that as you said rightly, the research time they are taking to write a script or everything has been shortened. So they are putting their more time and getting more better shots and everything. That is not only in movie industry or in our day-to-day jobs. Like I'm a project manager, so my main job was to understand what is the meeting that I conducted and give to actionable points. So for this only my entire day used to go. But now with this chat GPT and all, I am able to do this in a very quicker way, and I'm able to focus on delivery of the projects in a more faster way. So we have to look at the positive way and positive side. And about the future, no one knows. Even when Sam Altman, who is the founder of ChatGPT, was asked what is the future of AI, he was also unable to answer. He also said, "I don't know what will happen." So we also don't know. So whatever is there, I think we should look at it positively, and we have to consume it in a way that we can use it, and we can, as you said, we are above everyone. We are humans, so we can build anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what is my view. Yeah.
Yeah, we need people to write the code. We need people to test it first,
Correct.
right? Before it is given out to the robots.
Correct. Superb. Any other points you want, apart from these, do you want to discuss? I think my questions are done, Arshia. You have answered almost everyone in a very superb way. Do you want to
Thank
speak
you.
anything else? Do you, for our audience?
I think the only thing I would like to convey is that, if you think that you want to do something, uh, and maybe others are telling you that, hey, this is not the right time, this is not the best thing for you right now, think about it again. But in your heart, if you are sure about it, I think you should go for it, and stop all those external voices, uh, so that they don't haunt you or disturb you. So
Yes.
I think once you made up your mind, there is nothing that is there to stop you but yourself. uh,
Yes.
so just be confident, And I would like to thank you for this platform, and for and inviting me to share what my journey has been. My journey has been very interesting, ups and downs. It has not always been, line that is going up. I have also seen downfalls. I have intentionally taken pause in my career journey when I felt that my personal life has to be prioritized, or my health needs to be prioritized. So we don't need to just, run all the time towards success or towards things. Sometimes you need to pause and refresh, and then things comes to you, right? uh, so it's not going to help you if you are running fast, but you have to be smart to identify what is it that you can do to make things easy for you, as so that it is not. So when you come back home, right, you create a positive environment for the family.
Correct.
You are not someone who is entering as a frustrated person and then spoiling everyone's mood. uh,
Exactly.
so I think family life, personal health is something that is very very important, and on top, so health and safety is something that you should be prioritizing as number one. Of course, financial independence is something that is irreplaceable. I think it is a mess if you have to ask someone to buy you things. And there is much more satisfaction and happiness when you like something and you have the ability to purchase it. And that comes only when you put that hard work and energy into becoming what you want to become. And it's going to be a continuous effort. Like, you cannot say that I did my graduation, so I'm done with my education. There are a lot of things to be learned that we have not learned in our graduation, right? So that is why we need to continuously upskill ourselves, but don't get totally into it like a mad person. I see some people working crazy 14, 16 hours. Don't do that. Prioritize your health and safety, and of those around you. And try to balance, and time everything. Like, you can do a pomodoro of 25 minutes when you're learning a new skill. If it is the speaking or the communication skill that you want to improve, give yourself 25 minutes time to learn about it without any disturbance. Switch off your mobile phone and any other distractions. Give that 25 minutes of your time every day to enhancing that particular skill. And in a week or a 2 weeks time, you will see that there is a drastic improvement in that skill. So just try that Pomodoro technique, and just keep doing what you are best at.
Yeah, really nice point, Arshiya. Even I have a few 2 points to be discussed on this point. So many people come to me that I have a break in my career due to various reasons. Especially women when they get married or when they want to raise children, they always take a break. Okay, so I tell the only one point. We are not robots. Okay, we are humans. Everyone has some or the issues. It could be health issues, family issues, whatever, XYZ issues. Okay, so you take a break and you can always come back, as you said. Okay, you need to learn a skill, and there are many companies, especially when I was working in HSBC, they used to be very specific with the gender diversity. Okay, women in
Yes.
IT is very less when compared to other industries, very less percentage. So to encourage people to come back to the IT industry or to any other industry for that matter, there are many companies which are doing major roles. Okay, we used to run a program called Take Two. Okay, encouraging women. So as you said, some skills, some right skills, if you properly learn it, you can definitely get back. And women are really very quick. Not only women, even anyone for that matter, you can definitely come back. You can learn certain skills, and you can be productive and really increase the country's economy. If everyone starts working and contributes to the economy, automatically the country will be growing rich, and that's what even I feel. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Okay,
Great
so
point.
Yeah, thank you so much, Arshiya, and it was really nice interacting with you. I hope we again come back and again discuss on few more points in the coming future. Be open for my next invitation. Yeah,
Sure,
thank you so much. Thank
definitely.
you so much, Arshiya.
It didn't feel like a podcast. It was like,
Yeah,
I'm talking to my old friend who I
correct.
met after a long time.
Same feeling here. Thank you so much. Yeah, have a nice day and in London, enjoy your days. Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much. Bye. Bye.